Good afternoon. You're watching LNA Now with Barry and Jenny. I am Jenny Nagel, flying slightly solo here today. Barry is traveling, but I don't feel alone because I'm here with Sarah. Sarah, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. Now, Sarah, I'm looking out at blue skies and sunshine up here in the Northeast. What about you? You're in Florida.
Well, right now it's sunshine, but give it about an hour and a half and it'll be storming because that's what time it storms here every day. Yesterday was the crazy rain day. We all woke up to crazy rain.
That's one of the reasons Barry's not with us today. He was traveling yesterday in an attempt to make it to an event. And the Mother Nature had other plans for him. So, yes, Tina says I remember the Florida crazy weather. Yeah, it's so unpredictable. Yeah. So fly out in the morning is
First
my
thing.
bit of recommendation. But Sarah, we are so excited to have you here today. Before we go in, I want to chat for a little bit because we've noticed it takes people a couple of minutes to join us here for summer school. But this is what you're part of. We are in week, I think, 5. We've got 3 webinars left. We've had 13. It's been a summer of intense learning and learning about topics from ranging from chemical peels to lasers to, I mean, we have everything on the map to microneedling. So you guys, we've got you covered. And today, we are going to really dive deep into exfoliation. So Sarah is here with ID Skin Pro. So Sarah, tell us a little bit about your background, what your role is with ID Skin, and what we're going to talk about today.
So I am ID Skin's brand manager. I am a licensed massage therapist, licensed esthetician, and licensed nail tech. So I have lived in the spa world since 2003. I'm going to age myself there. I was an educator in aesthetics for 16 years before I came over here and worked this side of the business.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you also have a med spa location, or are you solely ID Skin?
Me personally,
Yes.
I have a outside training facility that I operate out of where I exclusively only use ID Skin products in all my class kits and my
That's what
video
it
and
is. I was like, I knew you had something spectacular on the side.
yeah.
Let me see. We've actually had double the people joining us today. So you guys, if you're just joining us, we are in the thick of summer school. We're coming to an end. We're closing out, and today we are joined by Sarah from ID Skin, and we're going to do a deep dive into exfoliation. So we're going to talk about mechanical, chemical, and I think she's got a manual. Thing that we're going to dive into as well. But Sarah, before we get started, we've been doing something really fun with everyone. I see some people are here from Florida because we're talking about Florida weather, but you guys let us know where you're joining us from. We've had some of the same people attend with us all summer. It's been very, very fun to see. We've got people from Canada, from the islands, from Australia. So drop a comment, let us know. Oh, Danielle Marquez, she's here from Sacramento. We've got Edward from San Antonio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Canada. We love having Canadians. We've got Perry from Chicago. You guys, oh, Donna in North Carolina. I think some of that nasty weather is hitting North
Oh,
Carolina as well. Uh, Dainty. I thought you were saying the name of the city was Dainty, North Carolina. And I was like, that is the cutest name for a
I
city,
was
but
gonna say that too. What a great name.
it's even better for a person. We've got Dallas, Fort Worth, California, Buffalo. We have got the nation covered, you guys.
Wow. Coast to coast. Trinidad. Okay.
Deandra, thank you. Thank you for joining us from Trinidad. We love this, you guys. So you see
Hmm.
what's happening in the chat. We're chatting, right? We're just chatting, just talking about where we are. We're saying hello. I would love for you guys to put any and all questions into the Q&A. Because what happens is it's just Sarah and I today, okay? So we're going to manage this show the best we can. But if any questions go unanswered, I want to be able to download this transcript and send it to the team so that they can get back to you guys as quickly as possible. So any specific questions on ingredients or products or techniques that Sarah discusses today, please put those in the Q&A, and keep your fun comments about where you're at. Vegas, okay, Vegas,
Love
um,
Vegas.
in the chat. So, without further ado, Sarah, I'm going to let you take over. Sarah's got a really engaging presentation, you guys. She's got a video, so there's going to be some clips that are playing. If you've got questions, if you have any experience, anything with audio, just drop that in the chat because we can handle it there. And we will go ahead and get started.
Okay. Um, First thing I want to talk about is, since we're going to be talking about double exfoliation, that would be mechanical and chemical exfoliation. So when we start watching the video, I'm going to eventually pause it while it's going, so that I can, throw in a few tips and things inside of there so that you can understand why things are done a certain way. So there might be some questions of why are you using this and not that, and that's okay. There is a million reasons why. And also, it's not to put down anyone that uses something different. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, hold on one sec. Share. Let me go back to the beginning. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pause here just so that we can talk about just dermaplaning in general. Who would be an indicator, who would not be an indicator, contraindications, indications. If I have someone that is wanting this service done, the very first question is, why do they want it done, and are they a candidate? So if I'm looking to see if they're a candidate, there are certain things that I'm looking at. So if I see someone that says they have dull skin, they need to bring some life back into it. That's usually the way that people have been saying it lately, is they just feel like they look blah or duh, just dull, just not great. So they're looking to have a little bit of zest come back to them. They have an excessive buildup of dead skin cells. Maybe they're trying to kickstart a skincare routine. Maybe they're using it in conjunction with a peel, which is what we are doing. Indications for dermaplaning by themselves would be for pregnant women. However, note, if we are double exfoliating and I'm using a chemical, not an enzyme or anything like that, I would not put that chemical on a pregnant person. I just would not. It's indicated for people with rosacea. And interestingly enough, we will talk about people that have rosacea and having dermaplaning plus a peel together. It is possible. And then stubborn comedones. Now, the contraindications would be things like acne. If they already have overactive sebaceous glands, that oil has nowhere to go but to stay beneath and just congregate with more bacteria and build up to where you now have acne. Now, if they have hormonal issues, and I don't mean it is their cycle time, what I mean by that is like PCOS, things that would make hair growth, terminal hair growth in places that you're going to be working, possibly a problem. The use of a retinoid, if it is a prescription grade retinoid, you would definitely have to make sure that they discontinued use. Any recent surgeries, and I mean in the area, not they had bunion surgery on their feet. Open wounds to the area, boils, pustules, or herpes outbreaks to the area. Are they a sun worshiper? If they're a sunbather, this is not for them. And are they currently sunburned? And I know most of you will probably say, why would someone that has a current sunburn come in for that? Because they do. They just don't know. They don't know any different. So it's up to us as professionals to teach them what is the appropriate way. All right, so what I'm going to be using in my treatment is I will be using ID Skin Pro's Purity Cleanser, which is a foaming gel cleanser. Then I have the Hero Pad Retexturize. So that would be like an AHA blend. There are two AHA blend peel pads that we have, and then we also have the Rescue peel pad, which would be your BHA blend. So then I'll use my regenerating serum with growth factors, my peptide recovery mask, repair gel as a moisturizer, and my Shield and Protect SPF 40. This one's the Purity one that I'm using. In your kit, you guys have the goji berry. That one performs the same, so it's going to look the same whenever you emulsify, and it's just going to smell slightly different. It smells like apples. It smells like goji berries. So I'm going to cleanse her Make sure I'm getting any oils, debris, anything like that off of her. I already know that she's not wearing any face makeup, so that's one hurdle that we're on. If she did have a lot of face makeup, I would probably use a pre-cleanse first, break it all down, then the regular cleanser afterwards. So when it comes to the type of dermaplane that I am doing, I want to pause it here just so that I can hit this one part because I know there's going to be questions about, do you use oil? Do you not use oil to dermaplane? There is not really necessarily a right way or a wrong way. When people like to use an oil to dermaplane, that's great. And if they like to do it where they degrease, that's great too. The only reason why I would say I probably would not use any oil to dermaplane in this service is because I'm going at it with a chemical peel on the back end. So oil cannot hold a pH. It does not have a pH. So if I have a layer of oil there and then I throw my chemical exfoliant on the top, that it's not really going to go anywhere. It's going to sit on top of the oil and it's not going to actually make it to where it belongs. So for my oil dermaplaning girlies, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't ever do it, but if you know that they're going to pair a peel, you should know how to do a dry service as well, just in case, so that you can get the full effect of your exfoliation that you're looking for. Now, the person that's on the table, this woman is 67 years old. She is a sun worshiper. She also was a heavy smoker for years, and she does Ironman triathlon. She is outside a lot. Yes, we have had talks about after she gets these services, she can't go out and she can't do anything like that. She's aware. But we pick her because, one, she is actually an educator herself. And so she understands the importance of being able to teach with it. So you might hear people asking questions about her skin and things like that. And that's simply because it was a class everyone was learning. So when I open these, it has like a tab like this. So I can just open straight up down the middle. What pops out is the dart. It is also the place that will give you instant gratification because there's a lot of vellus hair that grows here on a lot of people. So when it comes to where her sideburns and stuff are, I'll show you how to move them out of the way and where to stop. Got some wrinkling, and that's normal for someone that's her age. She has a lot of vellus hair, and you don't see it until we remove it, and then you're just like, wow, that was a lot. So for the average person, they have vellus hair that annoys them. But the older you get, the more you see it, the more you have. So, when you go to hug a grandmother and she's so soft, chances are she's got a lot of vellus hair on her face, more than likely. Now, does that make the person more radiant? And I'm just going to start easy little strokes. And we're going to see what comes off. You guys can get closer, it's fine. Okay, I want to pause it here so that you can really see the texture of her skin. She has extremely texturized skin. She also, not only was she a smoker and she's a triathlete and all of that, let's be real, in the 90s and early 2000s, she was an absolute crazy person about her tanning bed. So she has caused a lot of UV damage to herself. And so it really kind of gives you a good feel for how much the skin could be changed, especially when you have those clients that have those really good before and afters. Just the edges like that around the area. Don't go over them. You'll probably bust something open that you were not intending to, and kind of put you out of your scope of practice. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be doing any of that. Fuel Pad Plus. This one is the regular one, so the retexture is, think like AHA blend. There is one for rescue, which would be your oily skin people. And then there are the ones that are the Intensive Plus. And the Intensive Plus is like this one, but think of the same acids, but put them on steroids. Those are for the ones that want to feel it. So now that I've peeled her, this will feel a little more spicy than it normally does because she just got dermaplane. So there is nothing for it to go through. So that means all these AHAs and stuff go right in.
Sarah,
Yes,
okay, so these are the hero pads from ID Skin.
correct. Correct.
So these can be an in-treatment product that you obviously easily apply right like this, but are these also a retail product that you can send home with them?
Yes. So, um, in here, I'll talk about that it could be used as a treatment itself, but personally, as a professional, I would not use this as a treatment itself unless it was in conjunction with another exfoliation, like I'm double exfoliating. Because if I were to use my full chemical peel, like let's say a 30% glycolic, for example, I would not be able to put that on right after a dermaplane. That would be way too much for that person and probably superly oversensitize them. But if I hit them with an exfoliation pad that is, let's say, like a 15 percenter, then that can be taken a lot easier. And then they would continue to use that in between their treatments from seeing me. So
Okay.
then the next time they see me, maybe it's for a dermaplane, maybe it's for a regular facial and they want to just do a heavier chemical peel. Great. Those peel pads are going to be their exfoliation all the way through. So would I use this as like a chemical peel by itself? No. I would use it in conjunction with something else.
Okay. Okay. And we
But it's
actually
safe enough for them to buy retail and use every day at home.
okay, at home alone without supervision. Okay,
Yes,
so
at home alone without supervision. You know, we got to supervise them. So
couple of questions came in. Erin
absolutely.
asked, has she said what is in the hero pads?
Not yet. Not yet, but I can tell you right now since we've stopped.
Okay, so we can
So
get to that, Erin, and then
go ahead.
I didn't know if you were gonna answer that. And then Tina asked, wouldn't performing that, meaning dermaplaning, on dry skin be more irritating, especially following with a peel? Could you leave the skin wet with, say, water or a hydrosol? I have yet to offer
Yes.
dermaplaning, so this is why I ask.
Yes, you could if it was water based as long as it's not lipid based, like no oils, none of that. So, um, the only reason why I say that like having it dry would be better for the service, it doesn't necessarily mean like bone dry. You could use water to wet the skin first, of course. But I mean, instead of having it wet with oil to dermaplane with it, which would cut into the efficacy of your peel agent going forward. And the peel agent mixture is PHAs, lactic, and gly. So the retexture is a 10%, and then the intensive plus is a 15% because they're both an AHA blend. It's just one has a higher concentration of the same thing. So think your beginners that would want to have a retexture pad, and then you have your advanced anti-age people that they need that intensive plus. So there's
And
three options of peel pads. This one I'm using retexture.
so retexture, rescue, and intensive plus. All
Correct.
available for you to use in treatment when the timing is right, and then all available for retail.
Correct.
One more question before you hit play again, and then I'll let you get back to it. Doesn't the pad potentially leave a minor residue that could skip the blade? This has happened to colleagues using other pads. I think we've gotten that mixed up, right? You did the
I
dermaplaning
did it after.
and then the pad.
Yeah, I dermaplaned first and then did the pad. And the reason why I do it that way, because I know there's another school of thought of, peeling first and then doing a dermaplane second. My personal opinion is that if I put that peel on, now they're oversensitized, right? Because I put a peel on. Now I'm going to hit them with the dermaplane blade. That might be too sensitive for them. If I do my dermaplane first and then put my application down, it's a one-shot application. I'm not having to go around the whole face slowly as they keep feeling it. Um, but I will also say this, if you were to take out the chemical exfoliation and say, what if I was using an enzyme? Well, then I would tell you to use your enzyme possibly prior, to kind of break things down as much as you could. I'm not a super fan of doing an enzyme after dermaplaning only because I feel like it's a little bit of a waste of my product because if it's to pick up any missed spots, I should be able to see those missed spots if I'm standing and looking on all different directions on my client to make sure I got every place that I needed to. I'm just not a huge fan of overly using product if it's unnecessary. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just not my preference. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. Is that it for the questions so far?
Yes, I think we're caught
Okay.
up for now.
Okay, great.
Make sure we get it everywhere. In the field pads, you can buy them by 20s or 50s. And they are saturated very, very well. Now we are going to let this dry. We are not removing it. We're leaving it on the skin because the directions are to leave it on the skin. However, if you had someone that said it was so spiky that they wanted it taken off, then of course, give them a cold wet towel, absolutely. But most people do not need that with this. I have rosacea, I use these every night. Yeah, I know. These field pads, I use them every night. Now, do I use a fan in my bathroom when I use them? Of course I do, because I have rosacea, everything burns. But the immense change I've seen in my skin from just that is out of this world. So now we're gonna leave this on. We're gonna let it sit. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna let it sit, and then we're gonna go ahead and go in with our we can either do one or two ways. We could put our serum on first and then our mask second, or I could put my mask on first and then my serum second. Either way, they both, this one's growth factors, this one's peptides. So you could have it either way. Personally, I like to put this first and then my mask on top so I can layer everything together and let it sit there nice and wonderfully. This will be cool on her skin. So after doing the dermaplane and then doing the peel after that, everything might feel a little spicy to her, but this one is gonna feel really good. Her skin will stop it up. There's about 1 ounce worth of product in this one. Okay. Once you put it on, tingle a little bit. Yep. Like, yeah, you know your skin's full of. Yeah. But it went away quickly. Yeah. So it shouldn't continue to be spicy on the skin or feel it or any. You should be able to put that on, let it be there, and then it's done. Because it would be different if I was putting an actual chemical peel versus using a peel pad. That's meant to be used daily. The other peels are meant to be used, every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on what kind you have. So I'm going to use this. This is our regenerative serum with growth factors, because after you get something like this done, you want something like that. You want things to be replenished with growth factors, peptides, all of that. Okay, so now that we put this serum on, we're going to go ahead and put our peptide recovery mask on, which this mask is by far my favorite mask of all time. Okay, and I'm not even saying that because I work there. I'm saying it. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to rip open the top. This is a 1-user. When I go to take my mask out, it is saturated.
Okay, I'm going to stop here for just a second. The most important thing after you do any type of aggressive exfoliation, and I don't care if it was just dermaplaning or a peel or that in conjunction or anything like that, that is your prime time to feed the skin. You are feeding that skin everything that it has been lacking and that it needs. It's like someone, we all need to drink water every day. Of course we do. But if I went and ran a mile, I'd really need that water more than I did the day before when I didn't go running. So that's the thought process of, if I'm doing these things to the skin, I need to overly feed this to really get things back to where it belongs. And not for nothing, I'm not doing this to not have results. I want it to have results. So now when it comes to the peptide recovery mask, I just want to note on here that I took the back layer of that off. This one is a biocellulose mask that has 2 protective layers, one on the top and one on the bottom. She asked me to leave the top layer on because she likes to take it home and put it in the fridge and use it that night. So that keeps the other side of the biocellulose nice and moist for her. You do not have to do that in service. That is what she requested as the client. So
Obviously, with the eyes where the eyes are, the nose where the nose, mouth where the mouth. I'm going to leave this on her skin for probably 10 to 15 minutes to just let it do its thing. That one. You have to fit it to each person's face. And then I want it.
okay, so the whole point of putting on a mask for whoever you're working on, the mask is supposed to either drive or pull. This one is meant to drive. When we talk about what's meant to pull, that would be things that we're trying to deal with acne with, like we're trying to draw things out of the skin. This one, we're not trying to draw, we're trying to push. So if I were to utilize my serum prior to my mask is going to push it in. But is it the end of the world if I didn't put it on before the mask and I put it on after? It's not the end of the world. Absolutely not. Either way, the skin is thirsty, 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 and you want to feed it. That is when it's its most desperate for the nutrients that it more than likely is lacking, just because we're just human beings and we can't ever really attain every single thing that we need. But it's also because you just stunned the skin by doing a double exfoliation. You need to feed it something good so that it feels good.
To look nicer, and I don't know how to get it there. Exfoliation and moisturizing and feeding the skin is what's going to give them. And most people don't even realize that you could exfoliate in so many different ways. You could have a scrub, you could have an enzyme, you could have a chemical peel pad. You could do a manual exfoliation, dermaplaning, microdermabrasion, ultrasonic scrub. There's so many things that you can do. So your client.
Okay, so pro tips, make sure that your client is a good candidate. If your client's not a good candidate, that you're going to have to go around a million things. Like, let's say they have a bunch of raised moles all over their face. There's nothing wrong with them. Absolutely not. However, it's going to make your work a lot harder because you're going to have to go around every single one, which is going to be difficult. If I have someone who has grade 3 acne, I definitely would not be looking at them for this service because they're not a good candidate, and it's okay. Choose your chemical exfoliant wisely. There's something to be said about less is more when you're doing things in conjunction. So if I were to do this dermaplane and then say, oh, you know what? I'm going to throw a TCA or a Jesner on this. That is horrifying. And I hope that everybody that's listening all made a face like, oh my God, why would you do that? Because it would be horrifying. So choosing your chemical exfoliant, it matters what the pH is. It matters what the delivery system is. You know, if you have something that's an alcohol base or a cream base or a gel base, they're going to have a different delivery mechanism. So you want to make sure that what you're using is appropriate for what you just did. I know that a lot of people want the best bang for their buck, which I want that too, but I also want to protect my licensure and protect my business. So just because they want something like a Jesner after they do a dermaplane, it would be a hard no. SPF is a must. There's no choice. SPF is a must if you do a peel, and it's a must if you did a dermaplane. And if you do those two together, you have to wear SPF. What will happen if you don't is not only will you burn when you go in the sun, but you might burn enough that you have blisters on the face. So it is so important that they need to know that. If you have a client who wants this service and it's the same lady who's a sun worshiper, she does not wear sunscreen ever, she refuses to wear it, she says how much she hates it, don't do this service on her. Protect your license at all cost. I know they say they want it and all of that great stuff, and I love that. But at the end of the day, if they're not a candidate, they're not a candidate. And you're the professional. You're the one that went to school. You know what's best. And you can't let them talk you out of that.
Sarah, good question. And I keep going back to these hero pads because I think they are such an asset to have.
Oh my God, they're the best thing I've ever used.
Let's just hypothetically say Sally, the client that gives you the hard time and you know she doesn't follow any rules, she really wants this treatment. So what if we did just dermaplaning on Sally and we said, Sally, all right, you can purchase these retail pads and start using them tomorrow. I mean, we're taking the chance that she doesn't. Maybe you give her the lower dose.
Oh, I would definitely give her the lower concentration. And I would also tell her to wait at least a couple days. Just because here's the mind of the client, right? Like you tell them you need to wait 48 hours, they wait 24. So you tell them they need to wait 36 hours, so they at least wait, like the 24 or whatever you need them to wait. So it's almost like a psychological game with them. The only thing that I would be nervous about with them is their sunscreen use. It wouldn't necessarily be that she wouldn't use the pads or she would use the pads. It's that she won't go that extra step to protect herself after she does it.
Right.
That is where I would be nervous. And yes, of course, I don't want her to burn with blisters. Yes, but I don't necessarily trust the client who wants all this done, but they refuse to do any of the work that goes with it. Because at the end of the day, when they say, like, it's okay, just do it, it's okay for that moment until something gets messed up. And then it's not okay. And then it's now your fault. And now you are dragged into something that you did not want to be dragged into.
And
So,
Tina just had a great suggestion. I would make her come back to purchase it with a bottle of SPF. Exactly. Maybe
ooh, I
that's
love that as a
exactly.
perfect pairing.
Sally does it on Monday and you say, okay, on Thursday, come right back in. We'll sell you the pads and an SPF and
Yeah.
there's your treatment.
Yeah.
Oh, Tina. Wise, wise, wise. All
I
right.
love that, Tina.
Let you.
Make sure that you wear your gloves for your service. And simply, a lot of it is sanitation. And it's not just, bloodborne pathogens. We're not supposed to cut people when we dermaplane, but sometimes it happens. And sometimes there's something you didn't see that looked like the same color of the skin and you accidentally nick someone and like it is what it is. So that's why we wear the gloves for the whole service. That's one reason why. The second reason why we wear gloves for the whole service is I have my own oils and bacteria on my body, just like you guys have your own oil and bacteria on your body. If I continued with my bare hands over this freshly dermaplaned and peeled face, I'm distributing my oil and bacteria to them instead of keeping that barrier of my glove in between. And I know a lot of people say, I hate the feel of gloves. I know. I know. I hate the feel when I take my hands out of gloves. It grosses me out. But it's a must because, in reality, you could say that you know someone but you really don't. And nobody really knows anyone's health history or anything like that. So, and then the last thing that's the most important is feed the skin. Don't just do a service like this and not give them any type of serum, a good mask, something to take home because they're not going to get the full benefit. And if you are trying to work at your full capacity, then you need performing products and you need services that give results. So, in your quest of learning and things, you're going to have choices on what you sell, what you use in service, and how you market that. So, I typically, when it comes to different types of exfoliation, because I want to go back to that question in the beginning that one of the ladies had about people with menopausal skin and how they're trying to exfoliate and everything kind of irritates it. I think that's what the question was. So I could just use an enzyme that has no bead, no nothing to it, just a straight up enzyme of like bromelain and papain, more than likely. That's probably what I would end up using because it's the most gentle way that I could do things. Now we have in our line, we have one called the gentle enzyme. And we call it the gentle enzyme mask. You don't have to use it in the mask portion. You could use it in your exfoliation portion. Or you could use it as a secondary mask if you wanted to. So in this service, what I actually used was the Purity Cleanser. And then after that, I hit them with the Retexture Pad. And then I have the Regenerating Serum with Growth Factor so that I can start feeding that skin again. Then I hit it with my Peptide Recovery Mask. And I'm telling you, this mask is the best thing ever. Repair Gel is a water-based moisturizer. So typically it's a kind of a catch-all for most skin. Now, if I had someone who is extremely oil dry, maybe they're 75 plus, I might recommend them using Timeless Moisture or collagen renewal gel or collagen renewal cream because those would be more for our oil depleted clients. But this is a generic protocol. And then I would use my Shield and Protect SPF 40 so that they could have their nice sun protection that they need.
Sarah, before you move on,
Mhm.
we had a question about, Erin asked a little bit earlier, can we use the Restore mask after other peels? Example, like
Absolutely.
PCA. Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
yes, yes. Okay, so just for reference for everyone, a lot of the things that I teach in my educational business are things that people don't get in their traditional schooling. There are some schools out there that they teach the full thing. They teach everything from lash extensions to dermaplaning to the whole thing, but most schools teach like the bare minimum. So I do classes on things like microneedling and henna brow and dermaplaning and that kind of stuff. But any kit that I have that has something that is very invasive to the skin that would need a little more extra love, I pick that mask every time, hands down. And the thing that sells me the most is one, it's chock full of peptides. Those are the building blocks of the skin. So, like, wildly important. And two, when I teach these classes and you do this after a dermaplane and a peel or a microneedle, and they say there's nothing tingling or spicy or anything like that, that's amazing because you just did a lot to the skin that usually you'd be super sensitive. Okay, so if you were to scan this QR code right here, it would take you to our landing page so that you could see all of our wonderful things at ID Skin Pro. And if you scan it, it will take you right to the page that says available only in August, the Try Me Peel Pad Pack, which is 3 packs of 20 pads, and it's each variation for 35.
Wow.
Normally it would be 40 for all three. And for the month of August, it is 35 for all three.
I think everyone on here is so hyped about these pads. Okay, so we need to talk about ID Skin. This was some
Absolutely.
amazing double exfoliation education. And for that, Sarah, we are so thankful because we love when brands
I
come
wish I
on
could
and
do the whole service. It's just not enough time.
it's like it's so helpful and so great. And then your product just naturally finds its place in the conversation. But you guys, we featured these hero pads last year. You guys launched them.
Mhm,
They're a fairly new product.
mhm,
Love them. You can see how many different ways they can be used. So I have a couple questions in here.
mhm.
Before we even dive into questions and product specificities, I just need to like hype ID Skin because not only is this just a brand, Sarah, can you give us a little bit of background as to who it's owned by, who runs it, who developed it,
Yes,
and
yes,
where it
absolutely.
predominantly is located?
So we are located inside of Trilogy Laboratories. That is our parent company. We are their in-house brand. So we are a cosmeceutical manufacturer, meaning we develop, formulate, make, bottle, package, and ship from our own facility. We are located in Fort Myers, Florida. And we specialize in our in-house brand, which is ID Skin, and then we also offer private label, and then we also do a lot of custom formulation. So if you're looking to build something from scratch or something like that, we do that. But our in-house brand originally started because there needed to be a skincare line that was out there for med spas and such. And so the creators of this was a doctorate of pharmacology, and then a plastic surgeon and an esthetician. So all of our skincare products were developed to formulate for impact. Like that is what was most important, that it actually showed results, because you're not going to find a doctor that's like, listen, I want to use this in my practice, but like it's going to need to show results. It can't be like a drugstore brand,
Exactly.
you know? And a
And
lot,
to be incorporated along with more advanced technologies, I assume.
absolutely.
So we're talking radio frequency, we're talking lasers, we're talking
Mhm,
ingredients and products that need to be formulated so they can use them right alongside
mhm.
these more aggressive treatments than, a typical spa can do with just an esthetician.
Absolutely. And it's really a unique place to kind of be, because most people will never get to talk to the people that formulate their products. They'll never get to ask the questions that they really want to know. Or let's say that you start using ID Skin and you say, I love it so much, but I would like to private label something or whatever. That is an option. So you could build your business that way as well. ID Skin is already cultivated and out there and being sold out there in the world. And our partner promise for that is we do not sell direct to consumer at all. And nor are we planning to. That is just a hard no for us. You, our partners, would be our direct to consumer. So for us, there is no contract, there's no buy-in, there's no um, minimum or anything like that. The only stipulations and restrictions we have is this line can be sold on your website. We love that. But it cannot be sold on Walmart.com or Amazon, because to us that lessens the professionalism of the brand or how it is considered medical. Like it just isn't, it's one of those things that you're like, oh, don't put it on there. No, no.
Right. Right.
So
What
that's
it's
really
used for.
important to us. A lot of the bigger box brands, we built them as estheticians, right? And we worked really hard to do that. And then when everything went direct to consumer, you're like, oh, what about me?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really important to us, is that we like to keep everything in the hands of the professionals. So we have a lot of things that are coming up for ID Skin. We have Direct ID, which will be a drop ship program. So you don't even have to keep some of this stuff on your shelves. You could already have a drop ship program that they order through you, and then it goes to us and we ship it from here to them. So you don't even have to worry about that.
Right.
We're very customer facing, and you are the customer, not your customers. So you guys would be our actual customers. And it's really, really important for us in the industry to realize that like we have multiple streams of revenue. And if we're not cultivating all those streams of revenue, then you're hurting yourself. So like your first stream of revenue is your services, obviously. Yes. Your second stream of revenue is your tips, because love those. Your third stream of revenue is your retail. And if you're not selling retail, then one, your services are not lasting because they're not using good stuff in between. And two, you are selling yourself short.
Sarah, I think the last webinar we did, you did an entire business
Mhm.
segment. So
Yeah.
if you guys are loving what she's saying right now, all you have to do to access that is on the LNA mobile app, the mobile app that we have. Go into that and search ID Skin, and it will show up in the VIP section, and you guys can watch the session that we went through. And I believe we talked about private labeling
Uh-huh.
in
I think
that
so, yeah.
session. So you guys can definitely learn more about that, because ID Skin is not I mean, it's the retail product you can buy, but it's not a one-stop shop.
Oh
It only
no.
begins there.
Oh, no, 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 no. And for our local, and by local, I mean the ones here in the state of Florida, we have an upcoming live partner event that will be in our actual facility where you can tour the facility, talk to the chemist. We have raffles and giveaways and all kinds of stuff that are going to be happening. So actually, let me,
And
sorry.
while you pull that up, Kelly, if you're Sarah, if you're able to multitask in your head like this, Kelly
Uh-huh.
asked the question, will you guys be at the West Palm show next month?
Yes, we will. And we are booth, oh gosh, you put me on the spot. I think we're booth 703 or 701.
It's your backyard. Well, you guys stay tuned to
Yes,
LNA, because we'll be listing everyone that's coming,
yes. We
sponsors that
also
we
have
work
a
with.
formulation class that we're putting on. It's on Sunday at 1:30, and it is our actual chemist. He's doing a formulation class of bringing a cream product to life while you sit there in class, like adding the ingredients, and
Oh,
we
I
talk
love
about how the
this.
product is made. Because it's
Okay.
really important to know how your products are formulated and why they're formulated that way. It is a really, thank you, Kelly. It is a really
Kelly,
cool
I
thing.
agree that I am such a geek when it comes to ingredients.
It
And
is really cool.
I remember when I was in seventh grade, sitting in my room making my own products, and nail polish was something I really specialized in, and I was making my
Mhm,
own colors and mixing and matching.
mhm.
So I geek out on stuff like that. So you guys,
Oh,
that's really
yeah.
cool. So Sarah, we need, I'll get a link to that, because I want to make sure
Yeah.
to promote that, because you guys, it's really important. What was I just watching? Something that, if you don't know how to explain things to your clients, you can know what the manufacturer tells you and what the directions and the protocols say.
Mhm,
But if you can't explain why things are working the way they are, it's tough, and it can, hurt your credibility. So it will only
mhm,
amplify if you can be in touch with brands like ID Skin and working with, Trilogy Labs to
mhm.
really understand how things work and how they're made. It will just amplify you. Um,
And we're always available. Like, if you were to reach out to me, if you email customer service, I'm gonna see it. There's a bunch of people that get it, but I see it too. So, when people have questions about products and how they perform, those questions go to me. If they have questions about pricing and stuff, it's going to go to the person at the front desk. But if it's something like that along the lines of how does it operate, how does it work, what are my key ingredients, what are the actives, why is that in there, um, then it would be me that's actually answering you. We like to be very, very in touch with our actual partners. So I even have partners that reach out to me sometimes and say, hey, I have this machine. I need a protocol for this machine written for my staff, but I want it written with the ID Skin products. I do that.
love that.
So we have a lot of partners that need things like that. Now we have our own protocols that are already ready, which there'll also be a download for the protocol for this particular service and the home care treatment and all of that. So you'll be able to see that. But it's important for you to have as much information and education and knowledge that you need. There shouldn't be any gatekeeping in the industry about like where to find your educational information. That's so like it's so silly,
And
you
how
know?
is it helping? And Sarah, this leads me back. So Spectrum Advanced Aesthetics, which is a very big school on the West Coast,
Mhm.
that does everything from basic licensure to advanced
Mhm.
advanced
Yeah,
training.
yeah.
And she put out an entire guide to help pros and solo business owners understand like what they need to look for in a brand. You know,
Oh, yes.
do they do immersive educational experience? Do they have that customer service? Do they create protocols with you? Do they do the business building with you?
Mhm.
And this is checking all the boxes, all of the boxes of what Spectrum is kind of helping you understand. So
Yeah.
since you guys are part of summer school, you should have that digital download as well in your inbox and already have access to that. If you don't, just shoot me an email or send us a DM on Instagram and I'll get that to you as well. But Sarah's sharing protocols with you. She's sharing this video demo that we just played during this. She's sharing
Mhm.
all of this with you after the session. So it's just the beginning of how you can work with Trilogy Labs and ID Skin.
Yes, in your email, I'm going to send the video and then we'll send the protocol that goes with the video. And then we'll also put the invite to our live partner event for any of our partners that might, or future partners that are local in the state of Florida that you could come and attend. So, because to us, a lot of places will say, oh, they don't let people come in there. We do it all the time. We have schools that come in, we have multiple schools that do field trips monthly that bring their students through here. They talk about how to form, it's a product knowledge class for them. Everyone gets a certificate and they get to learn a lot more about the industry and how products are made. I know in school we all learn why we use the
Right.
products, but we don't really talk about the how or why this can't work with this, the science part of it. There's a lot to it. So I highly encourage anyone that's going to be at the show in West Palm Beach. It is an amazing class with our chemist, John. He does an awesome job. And it's really interesting to like, you'll watch like a little beaker thing that will be clear like water. And by the end of that, it is going to be white and a cream by the
I
end of
love
the
that.
class as you sit there. It
Oh,
is
I'm
so
coming.
cool.
It doesn't matter what time it
It
is.
is so
I'm
cool.
coming.
But it's important because, when you're picking your brand, a question that you should have, and I mean, obviously, I would love you to pick us, but the question that you should have is the brand for the consumer or for the professional? If I have something that I need from that brand, am I going to get a human? And will they actually be able to give me the collateral I'm asking for?
Mhm.
And sometimes the answer is that doesn't exist. And sometimes the answer is, of course, here, let me shoot this over to you in an email.
Right.
Absolutely. Our
Right.
partners, we have tons of collateral that's available, and we have no problem emailing that to you at any point in time that you would like to use it. And we do have welcome packages and such that we send to our partners as well.
Sarah, I want to make sure we get to some of the questions in the Q&A that have come
Yeah.
through. So Kelly asked a dermaplane question. I find that sometimes there is a stubborn patch of fuzz, usually on the cheeks, even after I've dermaplaned that area through thoroughly. Any thoughts on why this occasionally happens?
If the hair is a different type of hair, it could be because of a hormonal change, and that's why it's being so stubborn and not wanting it to come off. Because, like, if I had someone with PCOS, for example, and I'm going here on their cheeks and everything, I might be good to go until I get to about here. When I get there where that terminal hair is, my blade might not actually cut it. It might just stop right where it is and then go right over it because it's a thicker hair shaft. My other question is that a like a textured area all the time? Because sometimes there's an extra growth of hair. Like I have one on my leg where it looks like that should be a birthmark because it's slightly raised, but it's the color of my skin. And it grows like thicker hair out of that one little
Mm-hmm.
spot, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not a different color at all. It's the same color as my skin, but you can feel it. So
Mm-hmm.
it could be something like that, that it's just one of those that just it comes back with a vengeance and that the blade is not sharp enough. Another thing too is the sharpness of the blade as well. So I will tell you, if you're buying blades on Amazon, you more than likely are not getting super sharp blades. A lot of people have asked me in my classes why I used a surgical scalpel that has a point on it. And I tell them because for sanitation purposes, I like them to be a surgical grade scalpel, already individually packaged, sterile, the whole nine. Not all of them say they're sterile when you're buying them from certain applications. And so I always like to have that extra step, but like there is no surgeon that says, give me the round fronted one. Like no one says that. They want the one with the point, right? So for me, if they can learn how to work around the point, they can learn how to work with anything. And I'd like them to have like actually see results. So I do like it could be the texture of the skin for that person, it could be the blade, that it just isn't sharp enough to get exactly what it needs to get. That's what I've had in my experience.
Great insight. All right, Sue. Sue, I love this question. I can relate to this personally in my household. I have a few teenage boy clients, grade 1 and 2 acne. Doing extractions are out of the question. Unfortunately, I can't tie them down. What peel or treatment do you recommend that does not require extractions?
Okay. Here is my go-to when it comes to extractions, especially on our oily friends. Okay. Typically in the T-zone area, but specifically the nose area, you normally have a hard time extracting because everything's so impacted. If I were to just quickly dermaplane just that nose, not anywhere else, just right there, as long as there's no acne on the nose, I could just go with an ultrasonic scrubber with a little bit of water and everything's just gonna pop right up. Boop, 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 just like that. And I didn't have to push. So I also have teenage boys who I have had to strap down to take care of that face because it's like, I'm your mother. You cannot have acne all over your face. No.
It's like, what is happening? Like, this is not allowed in this household.
And anytime that I would come with an extractor or something, they would be like, "Oh no." But once I started with the ultrasonic scrubber, it was easy. And you can also use keratolytic products that can break down what's in there. So we have a peel prep that you could use by itself. It doesn't have to be used with a peel. So it's going to have like vitamin A's and stuff inside of it to really kind of break down what's impacted in there. And then you can hit it with an ultrasonic scrubber.
Love that. And
It's
I
one of
also
my
love,
favorite things.
I think an enzyme a couple times a week. Let's just say,
Mhm.
okay, so in my house, we've got like this whole T-zone situation with these
Yeah.
very impacted blackheads. So I try to get in there as often as I can, throw a little enzyme on there,
Yeah.
let it do its magic, not even try all the time to do the extractions the same day,
Yeah.
but just keep it soft and exfoliated there,
Yeah.
keep those pores clear. So that's another suggestion too. All right, we have Oh, Aaron, just to segue off that, Aaron asked if there's any particular cleanser for the ultrasonic scrubber that you like.
Okay, so we can have our cleanser talk. I love a cleanser that foams. So what most of you don't know, unless you're one of my past students that are on here, maybe you are. Um, I have rosacea under my makeup. And so there's a lot of things that I shouldn't be able to use, but I do, and it doesn't bother me. And then there's other things that are made for me that I just don't necessarily want to use. It doesn't mean that I don't understand the science behind a gentle cleanser. I understand the science behind a gentle cleanser. I like a suds personally. So that is a personal preference.
Is it a
And
mental thing, Sarah?
yes, 100%. Oh, 100%. I know a gentle
Get
cleanser
it.
works. I know the science behind it. I just I like it to foam. So, but here's another thing. If I'm doing this service or if I'm trying to do a peel exfoliation or a peel powder, anything like that, I want the least amount of oil on the face as possible, which means I need to have something that has a suds to it. Those little bubbles, their job is to take away, obviously, dirt and debris, but also it's meant to hold oil inside of those bubbles to move them away from your skin. So if I have to use a gentle cleanser because the person is so sensitive, of course I will. But if given the choice, I'm using the one that suds up because it's going to do a lot of the job for me that I don't need to do. And it also, I like the feel of it. It just feels different on my hands.
Mm.
Um, so there's a lot of, but I also would not say, um, if I were doing this service, would I use a cleanser that has like a bead to it or a scrub to it or something? I wouldn't. That would be too much. One step too much.
And
Okay.
that actually goes to the point that Danielle was making earlier that there's a possibility if you do something with texture prior to
Hmm.
dermaplaning, you
Yeah.
could hit a snag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then sometimes people will put on a product and not take it all the way off. So when they go with their dermaplaning, it like catches.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like I like doing dermaplaning with oil. I do. I just prefer dermaplaning with a peel more, just because, that's like if you were to say, do you want to get a retinol cream from like Walgreens, probably not. I would get one here.
Yeah. All right, one more question from Erin. She said, peptides can be a little active. Does the mask ever feel spicy post
No,
peel?
no,
Okay.
it does not feel spicy. And um, we have doctor's offices and everything that use it after RF microneedling. Now,
You guys, wait, we did an entire article on a peptide product after microneedling. We went in, we filmed the whole thing. I pasted a link in the chat that you guys can see the latest article. It may have a link to it, to the original article. It was like this one-stop shop product. I think you guys just launched it last year. Can you?
Skin Trinity.
Thank you. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you're amazing and will remember it. Okay.
This is it right here. I have it right here. So this is
Fun.
a peptide just party in a bottle. And so here's another thing that I just want to throw out here, because this is something that we haven't even really like announced yet, but you know, for you guys, why not? So we have just procured a mask machine, like the ones to do like sheet masks. Now we won't be doing any paper sheet masks because we don't traffic in that. We traffic in silk or biocellulose. And one of the masks that's going to be one of the luxe one will be a mask that's infused with like 20 grams of this.
You read my mind because I was going to ask you if the serum that was in the peptide mask is available on its own or only in that mask.
So that one will be it's slightly different than what's in
Okay.
there, but not by a whole lot. There's actually a
Okay.
little bit more good in this one than that one,
Okay.
and only because this is a more luxe product.
Right.
And since we have the mask machine now, we'll be doing all of our own, and we won't have to do anything with anyone else. And then we
That's exciting.
also, for our people moving forward, um, a lot of people they don't want to private label a whole skincare line, but they'll private label some masks, especially sheet masks that they can send home a 4-pack with their clients
Yep.
and all of that. So we have lower MOQs for a custom sheet mask.
You
So
guys, this is like,
yeah.
to me, it's a
Now
no-brainer.
we'll have a
And
whole debut on that and everything so that, you can see like what that is and what it means. So we have our photographer coming in to do a video of how it runs. So we can do about 1,000 masks an hour.
that's so exciting. What
Yeah.
an awesome business card, you guys. Who needs
Yeah.
cards anymore? A sheet mask is your business card. One
Woo!
more question, Sarah, that came through
I
from
love that.
Deandra. I want to make sure. Oh, the sheet mask idea? Yeah.
As a business card.
Hello. Like it's like so we had done a promotion with lip glosses at one point. We were at trade shows and we were wanting to like grow our email list. We were like, I'll give you this branded lip gloss, which was on my business card, right? And it had our Instagram handle on it. I am all about giving something creative. I mean, I understand they rip it and they're going to throw the
Right.
packaging away, but they're going to think about you after the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they've met you. So take that
Oh,
little bit.
yes.
Deandra asked, what prevents breakouts after dermaplaning?
Don't touch the face. And I mean them, because they want to do this. And chances are they have not washed their hands. Another thing, and this is probably numero uno that causes the problems, they have this beautiful clean palette that has all the things gone that didn't belong there and all the goodness put back in it. And then they're like, let me take my dirty makeup brush and beauty blender and just, and the phone, yeah, the phone too. The phone is super dirty.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, are your brushes and your sponges and everything clean? And is your phone clean? And don't touch the face all the time. And they want to because it feels so nice. I know, I know. But what I usually do in service, and this also sells your service too, just down the road. If I'm doing dermaplaning on someone, once I do this part of the face on one side, I tell them it's their one time, the one time that they can go like this, feel both sides. I want them to feel what it feels like before and what it feels like after what I did. And at that point, that sold them right there, number one. And number two, that opens the segue for you to talk about. Okay, so what we don't want to do is we don't want this to
Again.
cause a breakout. So this is the only time that we're going to touch this, because going forward, that could cause a problem in the next day or two. After that, it's fine. But you
Right.
don't want it when it's fresh, you
So
want it to
fresh.
be nice and perfect.
Oh, Sarah, you are one of the best educators. I absolutely love
Thank
working
you.
with you. We love having you on. I am highly recommending that if you guys have not seen the webinar we keep referencing that talks all about business, you need to get on the LNA mobile app, search ID Skin. It should populate. If you can't find it for any reason, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help you find it because I think it's so, so valuable. Some of you joined us late, and we are so, so thankful that you were able to make it in between your busy day with schedules and appointments. But if you did and you missed part of this, please do not worry because you're getting a replay link in your inbox in 24 hours. That'll come right from Zoom, so you can rewatch all of this. And tomorrow, I believe Sarah will be sending you a little goodie in your inbox with some
Yep.
links and access to a few different things.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are out of state, if you are interested in the formulation class that our chemist does, we just had it filmed, so they're still splicing everything through so that we can actually send the video of that class to you.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Okay. Well, hopefully we can have access to that too and share that with you
Of
guys
course.
because we have you, we love you. I just saw something pop up. Katarina asked that the LNA app wasn't working for her. If anyone has Google Play, which I'm not too familiar with, they ran into some glitches on their back end, and I know that our app developer recently made some updates. So if you have Google Play and you've run into issues in the past, please try again. The app should be working. But Katarina, feel free to reach out to me on the side, and I will help you walk through anything so you can have access to all of these videos. I mean, it's hours of education in the palm of your hand on the mobile app, some of which includes ID Skin Pro. So you guys don't want to miss that.
And if you guys partner on the ID Skin Pro website, it's free, doesn't cost anything. Fill out all the related fields, make sure you fill out every single one, and then you'll have access to all of our content, our educational thing, and other blogs and things that we've written about ingredients and such.
Oh, which you guys will go to town. Oh my gosh, Sarah, I this hour went, I'm like, we can talk about exfoliation for an hour, can't we? Yeah,
Forever.
we could talk about it for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I cannot thank you enough. I think we've gotten through the chat, through all the Q&A. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am
Thank
definitely
you.
seeing you in just a couple of weeks in West
Yeah,
Palm. We will see anyone there. Please feel free to come to the class, stop us in the aisles and chat. We
absolutely.
definitely love connecting in person. But for all of you who joined us live, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us live, ask questions, get your questions answered, and really interact with us. That's what keeps our sessions so fun and engaging. But for any of you who are watching this on the mobile app, we appreciate you. We love you. I think there's more than 6,000 at this point. So we are so thankful to be a resource in education. But we will see you Wednesday for a NanoStamp webinar. And next week, we have our final webinar live from Awaken Aesthetics Retreat in Oregon. So we look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday and have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye.